Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MG Tip.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. The September 15th actions highlight Russia's continued reliance on attrition-to-maneuver operations. Ukrainian forces lost nearly 1,500 personnel and dozens of armored assets across multiple fronts in a single day, underscoring the unsustainable pace of their losses. The liberation of Olgovskoe demonstrates how persistent attrition is translating into positional gains in Zaporizhzhia. The repeated destruction of NATO-supplied systems, Western artillery, counter-battery radars, and EW stations further weakens Ukraine's ability to conduct precision fire, coordinate defense, or sustain drone operations. Strikes against transport infrastructure and UAV launch and storage facilities reveal a focus on long-term disruption of Ukrainian sustainment and asymmetric capabilities.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's begin with the North Sector in Sumy and Kharkiv. What happened there on September 15th?
In the north, our troop group continued to press against Ukrainian mechanized and airborne formations. We struck brigades near Stepnoy, Verakino, Granovka, and Alexievka in Sumy, as well as motorized infantry and territorial brigades near Volchansk and Zhovniv in Kharkiv. These operations inflicted roughly 150 enemy casualties and eliminated armored vehicles, artillery, including a Western-supplied gun, and multiple supply depots. The destruction of a radio-electronic warfare station is also significant because it reduces their ability to coordinate drones and counter our artillery. This sector matters because it serves as both a defensive shield for Kharkiv and a staging area for Ukrainian reserves. By inflicting steady attrition here, we keep them fixed in place and unable to reinforce other sectors like Donetsk or Zaporizhzhia.
Now let's move to the West Sector. I understand there were heavy losses inflicted there as well?
Yes, the West Group advanced in Yampol, Shandrigalovo, and Karpovka in Donetsk. Enemy losses exceeded 240 personnel, along with a tank, 5 armored vehicles, and Western artillery systems. Importantly, we destroyed 9 electronic warfare systems and 9 ammunition depots. This is a textbook example of enabler suppression. Ukraine's brigades rely heavily on EW to coordinate drones, protect their communications, and disrupt our systems. By eliminating 9 EW nodes in a single day, we degraded their situational awareness and made their forces more vulnerable to precision strikes. The loss of so many depots also impacts their operational endurance. You cannot sustain an artillery-heavy defense if your ammunition stocks are repeatedly destroyed. The West Sector demonstrates how attrition and logistics interdiction work hand in hand.
Let's talk about the South Sector in Donetsk. What progress was made there?
The South Group continued to improve its tactical lines around Zakotnoy, Platinovka, Konstantinovka, Seversky, Alexandro-Kalinovo, and Artima. In this sector, Ukrainian forces lost about 260 personnel, 4 armored vehicles, and 4 artillery guns. What stands out is the destruction of a counter-battery warfare station. Counter-battery radars are essential for Ukraine's artillery survival. They allow them to detect our firing positions and respond. Removing these assets forces their artillery into blind firing, which increases their vulnerability and decreases their accuracy. By suppressing their counter-battery capability, we not only reduce their effectiveness but also protect our advancing infantry and armor from retaliatory fire. This is operational shaping, removing obstacles that could otherwise slow our tempo.
Turning to the Center Sector, it seems this was the bloodiest front of the day. Can you walk us through it?
Yes, correct. The Center Group inflicted the heaviest losses, approximately 460 personnel, while pushing through fortified settlements such as Turetskoye, Artemovka, Dmitrov, Torskoye, Vladimirovka, Zolotoy Kolodez, Novoalexandrovka, and Krasnoarmeysk. This sector is strategically crucial. It contains multiple defensive belts where Ukraine has concentrated mechanized, airborne, ranger, and marine brigades. By continually applying pressure here, we are degrading some of their most capable formations. Operationally, the center is our attritional hammer. It is where brigades are forced into sustained combat until their cohesion collapses. Once that happens, opportunities open for a deeper breakthrough that could alter the balance of the campaign in Donetsk.
The East Group had a major success with Olgovskoe. Why is this liberation significant?
Olgovskoe and Zaporizhzhia was liberated as part of the East Group's offensive. In addition to the settlement itself, we struck enemy brigades in Velikomikhailovka, Gavrilovka, Malomikhailovka, Novonikolivka, and Novoivanovka. Ukrainian losses were around 260 personnel, 2 tanks, and several armored vehicles. The liberation is significant for 2 reasons. First, it demonstrates that sustained attrition is producing territorial gains, which reinforces morale for our troops and signals momentum to observers. Second, Olgovskoe provides a staging point for deeper operations into Zaporizhzhia, which is a critical axis for the wider campaign. This victory shows that the East Group is not merely containing the enemy but actively unhinging their defensive lines.
Finally, what can you tell us about the Dnipro sector across Zaporizhzhia, Kherson, and Dnipropetrovsk?
The Dnipro Group engaged mechanized, coastal defense, and territorial units near Stepnogorsk, Malaya Tokmachka, Belozerka, Antonovka, and Nikopol. Losses inflicted were lighter in absolute terms, about 65 personnel, but highly impactful in terms of enablers. 5 electronic warfare stations and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Again, this strikes at the backbone of Ukraine's combat sustainability. Even if casualties are fewer, when their EW and supply chain are degraded, their ability to mount a cohesive defense diminishes. The Dnipro Group plays a critical supporting role, pinning down enemy formations, degrading their infrastructure, and denying them freedom of action.
Beyond the sector-level fighting, what else defines September 15th?
Operational tactical aviation, drones, and missile forces struck 149 Ukrainian sites, focusing on transport infrastructure and UAV launch facilities. These attacks degrade both their ability to move forces and to conduct long-range drone strikes. Our air defense intercepted 82 drones during the day, once again illustrating the resilience of our layered defense system. By neutralizing these threats, we ensure that our maneuver groups can operate without fear of disruption from precision or swarm attacks.
Looking across all sectors, Colonel, what do you see as the larger implications?
The implications are clear. Ukraine's defensive capacity is being steadily dismantled. Each day brings not only heavy personnel losses but also the erosion of their enabling systems, EW, counterbattery, radars, and depots. Without these, their brigades cannot fight as modern combined arms formations. By liberating settlements like Olgovskoe, pressing deep in Donetsk, and targeting infrastructure in depth, we are both attriting their front lines and undermining their rear support. This combination leaves them weaker day by day, while we retain the initiative and freedom of maneuver.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. The September 15th operations illustrate the Russian doctrine of attrition combined with enabler suppression. By systematically destroying counterbattery radars, EW nodes, depots, and Western-supplied artillery, Russian forces degrade Ukraine's ability to coordinate modern defenses. The liberation of Olgovskoe demonstrates how sustained attrition translates into positional gains, while the center sector highlights how pressure on key defensive belts can erode Ukraine's most capable brigades. Strategically, Ukraine faces compounding crises, manpower losses, loss of critical systems, and shrinking options for counteroffensive action. Russian forces maintain initiative across all sectors, shaping conditions for deeper operational breakthroughs in Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive frontline updates from commanders in theater.